Hey peeps, welcome back to another stream of Cinderella Phenomenon Evermore with me and Tobias the Tantalus.
Hello.
Hi! So I don't know if you caught the Twitch stream, or at least the Twitch stream that apparently doesn't exist anymore because neither one of them saved on my channel. But last Saturday was actually my birthday, so I did not stream Cinderella Phenomenon Evermore last week in order to enjoy the holiday. Uh, it is a holiday. Well, for me at least. um, but yeah, I had an awesome time seeing the ocean. I certainly have made up my beach quota in the last year and a half. So yeah, my birthday. So usually on the 7th, I do something called the Nanuka special, which is like a bi-monthly. I'm gonna call it bi-monthly. Like two times a year, I would do a special stream. One on my birthday and one on my half birthday, which is the channel's birthday. But I obviously missed that this year. But I have some good stuff coming up, rest assured. I finally got a functional SD card on this camera, so now I can finally offer you up the videos I've been promising you on my second channel pretty soon. So look forward to some of that. And I want to do some more blog-based material as well, so keep an eye out for some more interesting content. But don't worry, you are still going to get all of the streams that you know and love right here on my Twitch and YouTube channels. So, now that I got that little announcement out of the way, let's get back into the... Would I even call it drama at this point? Because we're close to the end of this route anyway.
It is all drama. All through all of the routes. That's all it is.
Yep.
Maybe not Waltz so much. Waltz was pretty chill, but...
Yeah, Waltz is actually pretty chill. But I mean, even that one had its drama, though.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if it didn't have drama, it wouldn't be a story.
Exactly. I mean, it's technically about the happily ever after the happily ever after, which honestly should be a genre of its own when it comes to these stories. But I mean, then again, I think it's what DLC and fan fiction is for, technically. Oh, whoops! I did not mean start. I meant load. Whoops. I meant load. Okay. So, let's see. So we had some serious stuff going on in the last episode, which is talking more... we're finally getting some more bonding between Lucette and Cinna, both being the bearers of the crystals. And now that things are starting to balance out, there's been this big question of what Cinna's deepest fears have been. So in particular, I think, oh yeah, now I remember. So in the last episode, we did some training with Cinna and Delora, both being the crystal bearers, Cinna and Lucette. And Cinna, obviously now that he's finally gotten his confidence as the Lucis bearer, he most importantly wanted to find out what Parfai's final moments were. Which, if you've seen my playthrough of Cinderella Phenomenon, like the very first game, yeah, no matter what ending you choose, it's like, with the exception of maybe Rod's ending, it's just oof. You feel it. But yeah. So the biggest question is, who should answer this question? Should Lucette or should Chevalier answer the question? Because it's a really tough call, because They both were present for it. Yet I kind of feel like Chevalier has a lot more to say because he's also been there to like help with Parfai's recovery until the end.
I was trying to decide. I'm like, who actually has more like experience and be able to answer the question better in that sense.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of his capacity as doctor, it only kicked in once like he's sort of recovering his memory. But I think in terms of like medical knowledge and like the interactions with Parfait, especially when he was known as Rumple, because his curse was the Rumpelstiltskin curse, so he basically could not remember his name or any of his past experience because of his curse, and he ended up in the March in that way. And he's been in there longer, so I think he would be the better person to talk about it. Plus, I kind of remember in the beginning. I think he had some moments where he kept going back to that moment. So I think he might be the better person to answer this question. Plus, I mean, as well, I think it'll also carry over the theme of like balancing each other's roles, like Lucette being the bearer and Chevalier, especially being a non-royal, having his own chance at power and agency. So I think allowing him to answer that question might be the way to do it. At least it's my argument.
Like to me.
Yep. So let's go ahead and do this. I know how hard this must be for Chevalier. He knew Parfait better than I did. She was one of his patients, after all. That is why he could tell Cinna more about her than I ever could. I squeeze his hand again. It is a silent consolation, my way of showing him that I am here.
She kept telling us not to fuss, in the end.
I remember that. Oh my gosh. His words are soft, just an octave above a whisper.
The witch who killed her was obsessed with Hilda. He wanted to bring her back. Anyone who stood in his way he viewed as an obstacle and destroyed.
Mithros. Chevalier sighs.
Parfait knew he was hurting inside. When he killed her, she apologized to him. She said she was sorry Hilda never appreciated him.
Yeah, because as we saw in a few endings earlier, a lot of her attention was towards Waltz. Whew.
I killed the witch who stabbed her, but it didn't matter. The wound he inflicted on her was fatal.
I totally forgot about that, but then again, there was that one part in the first game where he talked about self-defense. Yeah.
But even as she lay dying, she told us everything was as it should be. Lady Parfait put her life on the line without hesitation. She told me all the time that she was trying to make up for her mistakes. That's why, in the end, I don't believe she had any regrets.
Oof.
It was the greatest honor to be able to help her.
That is a classic physician's response right here. Oof! For a few minutes, the forest is silent. The only sound the gentle rustling of the leaves and the sway of the grass beneath our feet. When Chevalier shivers, I wrap an arm around his shoulders. He promptly leans into me. Eventually, Cinna speaks into the quiet.
Thank you.
Oh!
For trying to save my cousin, and for being there with her until the end. I can't imagine the courage it took for her to hold to her ideals and morals, even in the end. Lady Pape was one of the strongest, kindest people I knew.
Facts.
I will be forever grateful I could be one of her friends.
Me too. Parfait believed in me from the beginning. I'll always be grateful for her patience and kindness. Neither she nor Delora gave up on me. Instead of leaving me to stew in my own anger, they rescued me. It was a drastic solution, perhaps even somewhat heartless, but it forced me to see things I'd never had before. Cinna angles his head slightly, his eyes trained on the stars above us. And then he smiles.
It appears as if I've got my work cut out for me if I want to measure up to her.
Chevalier straightens.
Cinna, you are every bit as inspirational as Lady Pape.
Much more stubborn, but... And again, I think it runs in the family.
I have no doubt she would be proud of you. You know, Chevalier, you're not so bad.
And that's the Cinna that we know.
Did you just call me by my name?
Cinna turns away with a grumble.
No need to get excited about it, old man.
And there he is. Even though he's turned away from us, I can see a smile on his face.
I'll see you both tomorrow. Thanks for tonight.
His goodbye is brisk. He disappears through the trees before we can respond.
How strange that speaking about Lady Pape tonight was almost... How strange. It's almost therapeutic?
Talking about her brings her back, even if just for a little bit. When we talk about her this way, we could fashion her into a hero. Someone who made us and the world a better place. It's the least she deserves for her sacrifice.
Sage words, princess.
Did you just read my mind? Chevalier lifts my hand to his lips and kisses my knuckles.
Thank you for your support.
Yes! Communication and moral support! Always, Chev. After savoring the quiet of the forest a little longer, we make our way back to the palace. And with that, it is daylight! I thought another chapter was happening. The next day we wake bright and early for the first day of the festival. I forgot the festival was happening, too. The palace halls are emptier than usual, many of the staff taking time off to enjoy the festivities. A miniature stage has been erected outside the palace gates. For the last 30 minutes, we have all given brief speeches about the prosperity of Angiel and our hopes for the future. Rod and I have already given our speeches and are waiting at the back of the stage for Emmeline, who is in the middle of addressing the crowds.
Boys, she overthought how difficult this would be.
Emily is the most charismatic of all of us. Why would she ever think she was bad at this? Rod shrugs.
She gets nervous about disappointing people.
Aww. We pause as the audience claps and Emmeline curtsies.
Sometimes I think about the toll training to be queen would have had on her.
And at one point, that precisely almost happened. He looks at me, thoughtful.
You're good under pressure. Emmeline never has been.
Thank you? Rod scoffs.
Why do you sound so confused? It was a compliment.
Considering your sarcasm, I had to check. The stage creaks as Emmeline approaches. She sighs softly. Oh, thank God that's over. Did I sound okay?
Of course you did. You got the best reception of any of us. Someone even threw flowers at you.
Emmeline shakes her head. Oh, no, that was... Prince Lance.
I was about to say.
Brigantian theatrics at its finest. I did not miss him standing by the front of the stage, beaming at Emily the entire time. He was clearly enamored with her. I heard from Mother that he came by to surprise me with a bouquet this morning, but I was already gone.
So he threw it at you on stage?
It's like, if I did not meet you at breakfast, meet you at the event and throw them.
You will have these flowers.
You will have these flowers in your hands or on your stage, and you're gonna like it. Rod sighs. If Chevalier was here, he'd make a comment about how romantic this is. It's a good thing he is not here. Though I beg to differ.
Yeah, you can leave it alone after a while. Poor girl is flushed enough.
Were you less nervous having him in the audience? You know, now that I think about it, yes. Lance says he gets nervous on stages too. He was giving me advice last night.
Was he?
Yes?
Well, that was kind of him.
Cheers from the audience pick apart our conversation. The king calls all of us to the front of the stage, and together with Ophelia, we announce the beginning of the festival. Before, I shunned the idea of participating in these speeches and events. Now, looking at all these smiling faces, I can't help but be glad I'm here. My eyes snag on a familiar face in the audience. Chevalier stands at the front, waving at me. His most excited pupil, the young boy he saved all those years ago, stands beside him, also waving. Chevalier told me yesterday that recently the boy has been allowed to visit the palace to watch him work. He also clings to Chevalier when we are wandering the town. Yay! Chevalier always talks about bringing me out here to spend time alone together. He's so well liked by others that it's often difficult to find that time. I cannot possibly be disgruntled about the situation, though. I could never be irritated that people are warming up the Chevalier. As soon as I'm able to, I descend the stage steps and head for Chevalier and his pupil.
You were spectacular as always, my lovely princess. As always.
The boy parrots the words and laughs, then he looks at Chevalier.
I told my ma I would meet her after the speeches. See you later, Doctor. Princess.
Aww. The boy runs through the crowd, leaving Chevalier and I to speak to the amassing crowds. I greet townsfolk with handshakes and greetings while Chevalier speaks more conversationally. The minute we have a moment to breathe, I grab Chevalier urgently by the sleeve. I just remembered the magic show. Why do we plan for it to happen so soon after the speeches? Dang it, royal schedulers. Do your job. I pull Chevalier along before he can protest, but of course he doesn't. He just smiles and laughs, and when I pick up my pace, he loops his arm around through mine and begins skipping down the street.
Come on to Her Highness's magic show!
His cheer is contagious. Soon I find myself skipping alongside him, trying not to laugh as we nearly trip over each other's feet. Darn, I wish I could have picked out which magic I was going to do. The magic show was a huge success. Walt is ever the charismatic performer. He He weaves stories to perform, talking about a time where witches, fairies, and humans got along. Cinna and I take turns performing magic tricks.
Witches and fairies drew their magic from different sources. It was equally vibrant and beautiful. They could make flowers bloom.
I concentrate on the stage and flowers begin to push to the planks.
And change the weather.
Cinna snaps his fingers and a cool breeze whistles past, bringing with it droplets of water that scatter like rain.
And start a warm fire for cold nights.
How are they going to do this one? Walt spreads his hands and bright fire rises before him. The audience gasps as the flames rise without eating away at the wood. The spectators applaud, again and again and again until the show is over, and we all bow. At the end of it, I am breathless and exhausted, and also relieved. No one shrunk away from my magic. No one was scared of me. No, there was nothing but wonder in the audience's eyes. Afterwards, Waltz turns to me and Cinna with a bright smile.
You both work well together. You're great.
Cinna grins.
I knew training together would be a good idea.
I resist the urge to roll my eyes, but I am smiling. Likewise, Waltz. We should do this more often. Waltz blinks at me.
Often?
He laughs.
I'd love to have you both up here with me in the future.
I raised an eyebrow.
Any chance you want to continue on to the next performance? My students are performing, but I'd appreciate the backup. No.
Never change, Cinna. Never change. Okay, maybe tone down the snarkiness just a little bit, but other than that, never change. Cinna shakes his head.
They're selling special baked goods today. I'll buy one of everything before they run out.
He's got his priorities straight.
Oh. Weren't there cinnamon rolls with the special frosting?
Funny you mentioned cinnamon rolls. I actually bought one earlier this afternoon. Cinna scowls.
Maybe. It's not as if I know about that.
Right! With a huff and a backward wave, Cinna rushes off the stage and into the crowd. After wishing Wald's luck in his next show, I too leave the stage. I look at Chevalier in the scattered crowds and find him standing by the fountain, talking animatedly with a group of musicians.
Yes, that's the piece I'm thinking of. The one with the uplifting music.
That could literally be anything. That could literally be anything. As I approach, the band begins to play a song. It is a jubilant tune, filled with playful chords and soaring vocals. The minute the music picks up, the surrounding crowd begins to clap and cheer, and soon there are citizens dancing in the plaza, hands pressed together as they twirl in place. And now I'm thinking of that scene from Wonder Woman in No Man's Land after Diana and company saved the entire town, and they are dancing in the streets. That was a really good scene.
Dancing in the streets.
Yes. The sight takes my breath away, and I pause to admire them. Another good scene? That scene in Tangled when Rapunzel arrives in Corona with Eugene, and then they start dancing around the streets as well.
That is good music.
Yeah, it is. Wait, you can hear it?
No, I was referring to the Tangled one.
Oh, yeah. We are still having audio problems on that front, so... in terms of Discord, anyway. What was it? I've never seen this kind of dancing before. It is unlike the stiff court dancing I'm accustomed to. There are no steps, only movement, and intoxicating energy. What do I do?
Well, you have to look for Chevalier to get him to join the dance with you.
Yes! Yes! This is what it's here for. Look for him. Let's go. I look up and try to find Chevalier, and I'm startled to see that he has disappeared. Where is he gone? I attempt to go looking for him, but it's unexpectedly difficult. The crowd is dense, and all the movement makes it difficult to spot him. I become lost in the crowd, and tossed from one person to the next until finally...
Hello, my lovely princess. May I have this dance?
Chevalier steps forward, grasping my hand and pulling me to his chest. He smiles at me rakishly. You may. The two of us twirl around each other, fingers laced. I'm assuming you meant for this to happen? The dancing?
Saw and setting up and couldn't resist recommending a song. They play this every year, you know, and I thought after such an exciting magic show, the audience might want to let out some pent-up energy.
He knows where it's at. I've never seen a dance like this before. Chevalier laughs.
It's not special, really. It's the person you're dancing with that makes it feel special.
The music picks up and everyone's footwork abruptly changes. Before I can adjust, I misstep and trip on Chevalier's foot, but before I can fall...
Catch her by the waist.
Woo! I was swept off my feet, and there are suddenly sturdy hands beneath my legs. Oh. This is very, very familiar. Could you not just grab my hand? All this pomp is unnecessary. You forget he's been hanging out with Brigantian royalty. Drama is his middle name. Well, second middle name. His first middle name is Healer. I can feel everyone's eyes on us. Chevalier just laughs.
I suppose I could have, but I think I prefer this.
Whoa!
I'm no knight in shining armor, but when I hold you like this, I feel like your hero.
Oh, come on! Your name literally means knight in French. Chev, you don't have to be any of those things. I love you just the way you are. Chevalier's expression morphs. The shock so clear in his face it makes me laugh. What's wrong?
You said that you would love me.
It happens if I haven't said it before.
Every time you say it, I am shocked anew. I will never, ever stop being in awe that you find me worthy of you, princess.
Oh my gosh!
Truly, I am the luckiest man in the world to have you.
Oh! Yes, you are. I cup his face in my hands long enough to give him a quick kiss on the lips. Chevalier puts me down and I grasp his hand, heedless of the couples around us. In that moment, it's just the two of us and I can forget the stares of the crowd. And I'm the luckiest princess, having you. I held out my hand. Now, shall I go find a less showy dance partner, or will you dance with me once more? Chevalier beams.
I shall be your partner forever and always, princess.
Is the next chapter going to be a wedding? I wonder. I'll hold on to your word. I'll hold you to your word. Ooh. Once again, I lace my fingers through his. This time, I do not let go of his hand. And though we are surrounded by people, it feels like we are the only two people in the world. Two stars, revolving around each other. and I would not have it any other way. I have my stars as well. And finally, we got chapter 6, The Optimist.
Now, I'm just looking at that. I think I might have that same little star.
No! That was hilarious.
I don't even remember where I got mine. I think it was like during a standardized test in high school. Like, they might have had a bunch of them or something.
Yeah, mine was from, like, Employee Appreciation Week, and they gave us these. It says you're a superstar on it.
Mine has some kind of branding, I forget.
That's a really nice one. Anyway, I have a feeling it's going to nightmare, so let's see what's happening here. Lucette. A voice reaches out to me from the depths of my mind, soft and gentle. Mother. Hello, my dearest heart. Have you given thought to what I said? My brain is fuzzy. Whatever memory my mother was referring to, I cannot remember. Have you forgotten already? Mother crosses her arms with a scowl. I told you that love serves as no power, but I see you have not changed. You still put your trust in everyone, even when it's a weakness. I told you once that promises were lies crafted by people who would use you. And yet, you decided to put your trust in a fairy? In a human? I'm sorry, Mother. Words are meaningless, my heart. Perhaps, but... My niece's advice from years ago comes to mind. I've not forgotten it. Not once. Sometimes apologizing is all we can do when we can't change something that's already happened. I shake my head. You misunderstand me, Mother. I'm not sorry about the choices I have made. I'm only sorry you can never understand them. I will not be ashamed of thinking for myself. Not anymore. Parfait trusted me to make things better. She believed in me. And I believe in me too. My mother's icy expression slips, revealing a softness that makes my heart sink. For a few moments, she appears almost apologetic. Mother? I think it might be you.
Princess?
Oh! Did not expect that!
You fell asleep in the bar?
Apparently! I wake up abruptly to see Cinna standing before me, arms crossed.
You were mumbling in your sleep.
What? I remember them in the march-in. It's the day after the festival when I've been sitting here waiting for Chevalier to return with Anis's supplies. I fell asleep? I do my best to appear collected as I smooth down my hair and dress. Cinna smirks.
I'd fall asleep too if I had to spend my days with that boring old man.
That's my fiance you were talking about.
Oh, he knows. I do have that calming effect on people, I suppose.
I glance up to see Chevalier walking downstairs, Anise in tow. Cinna scowls.
Making people fall asleep isn't a talent.
Surprisingly, it is. Proof? The ASMR community.
You're much too cynical for your age, Tiny Lord. You can make anything a talent with the right attitude.
Yep.
Your optimism is insufferable.
Honestly, I mean more of that in the world. Chevalier waves as Cinna walks off with a grumble.
And your pessimism is endearing.
Anise smiles. Did we interrupt something? No, not at all. Did you collect everything you came for, Chef?
Indeed. As always, Lady Anise has exactly what I need.
I glance at Anise. I hear from Chev that you started working from the pharmacy. How are things? I hope you've at least been taking gold from them. Unlike someone I know.
Princess, you know I've gotten better.
Anise laughs when I eye him skeptically. Even if he wanted to, I don't think Chevalier could ever refuse gold from His Majesty. She smiles. Things are going well at the pharmacy, and I do take the coin. I wouldn't be able to afford making remedies and salves without it. It's good to see someone with some business sense.
Princess, is it your mission to break my heart so completely that it will never heal?
I have faith in your talent to mend it.
Throwing my own words back at me, I see.
You make it too easy. I rise from my chair with a sigh. My body is sore after the festivities, but it is a gratifying pain. Heading out so soon? Unfortunately, we have an important meeting with the Brigantian nobility today. Oh? What about?
A Prince Exchange program.
Oh, they're going through with it! Nice! Anise looks confused. Prince Exchange? Claude has invited Rod to learn dance in Brigantia, but he also wants to voice his brother on us in exchange. Oh, Emmeline would love that. I'm sure she would. Wouldn't she? Anise smiles sheepishly and twiddles her thumbs. Do you and Emmeline talk about Lance frequently?
Do tell, Anise.
Sometimes? Me and Emmeline talk about a lot of people. Anise trails off, looking so flustered I almost feel guilty for bringing it up. It's fine, Anise. I appreciate that Emmeline can talk to you about these things. Oh, no! I only meant to say that it's helpful to swap advice, because Anise smiles, almost shyly. I have this customer who visits the pharmacy very often. He's very kind, and,
Hey!
Yes?
There's a man you fancy, and you haven't told me?
I was gonna say, he's gonna, I was wondering if he was gonna bring, the, Angelian equivalent of HIPAA or something. I was waiting for the right time. I've only spoken a few times. It's okay, Anise. I won't tell Chevalier anything either. Chevalier slumps against the wall.
Snot.
His flirting advice leaves much to be desired. That seems to make Anise less nervous. She laughs. I could never keep secrets from you two. Emmeline just wanted someone to talk to, and we were in similar situations, so...
The yearning.
I stalk down close to Chevalier's foot, and he yelps and slides away.
But, yes, do tell me about it when you're ready, niece. For now, the princess and I really ought to be going.
He holds up the bag of supplies.
Thank you for the supplies.
Of course. I went to follow Chevalier out the door when Anise calls my name softly. Princess, I know I'm not the best at this sort of thing, but if you ever want to talk about Chevalier or the future or any of that, you know I'm always willing to listen. Likewise, Anise. I'll always lend an ear. I'll wave to Anise to say exit. It's really awesome considering their backstory So Anise actually used to be a palace handmaiden, but this is when like Lucette was still basically in her cruel streak, and I think Anise like messed up the order of like her dolls of Lucette's dolls on the shelf or something like that, or just did something incorrectly, and she got really irritated and fired her on the spot. And then that's how Anise started working at the Marchand, and in turn started getting into apothecary stuff. And some of that friendship started blossoming in the Marchand, but I feel like it really grew in this game, and I am here for it. Like, I'm almost tempted to like ask Daisuke, can you please make a game about Anise and Lucette and maybe Emmeline being just best friends, just chatting about everything and anything together. Like, I would love to see that. And also, of course, I mentioned every single playthrough, can we please have a prequel game about Hildur, Parfait, and Delora? I mean, we've gone over a lot of the backstories already in this game, but I just would love to have like a proper game talking about how it went down the way it went down, you know? And maybe like some like AU where they never went this far in the first place. I think about this game a lot. That's how fun it is, though. Anyway.
Yeah, it shows how good the story is.
Yep.
Yeah.
The mythology is just great. Like, even like a novel.
You actually care about the characters.
Yeah, like even a novel would be awesome to see from this. I mean, a lot of these, if not pretty much every single one of these stories is in the public domain, so it'd be pretty easy to do. Anyway, let's keep going. Outside, the town feels sleepier than it has in days. Everyone is in the process of taking down streamers and equipment. Not too far away, I find a flower seller taking down reeds. Unsurprisingly, Chevalier stopped to assist her. The stall owner thanks him with, of all things, a flower crown. When Chevalier tries to set it on my head, I stand on the tips of my toes and set it on his head instead. Aww. It suits you. I get to see it? Darn! He winks at me.
Why did you see the flower crown?
I wanted to see it too!
Do I look like a prince then? One fit to escort you down a serene forest path?
Oh-ho! Forest path?
I was just thinking we ought to take a detour. It's been a while since we had some peace and quiet.
There you go! You're not going to get us lost, are you?
Never. I have an impeccable sense of direction.
I hope so. Chevalier takes my hand and, humming to himself, leads me through the plaza and to the forest. The minute we step into the copse, the hustle and bustle of the town falls away, replaced with a gentle chattering of insects. For the first time in a long while, I let down my guard and lean against Chevalier. He mindlessly wraps an arm around my shoulders.
You looked so sleepy earlier, Princess. I couldn't help but think you needed some time to decompress. You haven't had a moment to breathe since the festival started, have you?
I'd hear you and Ophelia were convinced it would help me relax. Chevalier smiles sheepishly.
It wasn't meant to help you relax so much as to enthuse you, I suppose.
Right. Well, it worked, but now I'd like nothing more than to sleep for days.
How convenient that Cinna said I had the uncanny ability to make others fall asleep.
I laugh to duck under a tree branch. It's a shame you're not supposed to be in my bedroom at night. Chevalier. Chevalier's guilty expression. I clasp his hand and smile. Though I think if Father wanted to find out, he would. Surely he must see that he enjoys you being at the palace. Chevalier chuckles. It's a soft, almost nervous sound.
Do you truly think so?
He let you sit in on a council meeting, and I've gotten word he's invited you to attend more in the future. Father would only give the privilege to someone he trusts, that he wants on his council.
There's a difference between trusting with legal matters and trusting with your daughter.
Exactly.
I'm just saying. I confess I feel unworthy sometimes.
Mood!
Poor doctor like me, sitting with all those sophisticated nobles.
For me, it's me in academia. Ah, that's a mood right there. I stopped so abruptly, Chevalier nearly trips over his feet. When he pauses to glance back at me, I set a hand on his cheek and guide his face to mine. Chevalier, do you trust me? I remember walking this path years ago on a similar detour. I remember Chevalier putting a hand to my cheek and saying, "You can trust me." His eyes are the same as they were then, beautiful and violet and so sincere it makes my heart full.
And always, princess.
Oh, yes! Good. And trust me when I say I have no reason to ever lie to you. I know my family enjoys your company. I know you are capable of anything you put your mind to. Whether it's participating in court or taking care of your patients, you will always be more than capable. Chevalier looks at me in wonder. And then he reaches out and laces his fingers through mine, gently pulling my hand away from his face.
Lisette, there's something I want you to see.
I wonder what it is. He pulls me behind him, continuing until we reach two trees with intertwining branches. Ooh.
It's through here.
Chevalier helps me past the branches and walks into a clearing. What I see takes my breath away. It's a part of the forest I've never been to, filled with a myriad of bright flowers. Some grow between tree branches and others sway beneath our feet. It's a plethora of color, a hidden and serene sanctuary. Chevalier, how? But before I could say anything, Chevalier abruptly shifts his weight. I fall into him, and the two of us go tumbling down into the flowers. The motion loosens Chevalier's glasses, so he simply slides them into a pocket before turning to face me. Oh, they're going to see it now! What's all this?
I went exploring the other day and found this lovely little haven. I have dubbed it the Princess's Private Court.
Oh, that's so cute! Oh? And who are to be my subjects? What do you think, Lucette? The flowers, of course! Chevalier kisses my knuckles and winks at me.
Why, me, of course.
That too, I guess? I don't know. You should be a little higher, Chevalier. Are you kidding me? You're the one who found it.
Does that dissatisfy you? Shall I find some cute animals to join our court? Your court?
I cannot help my laughter. You make me sound like a fairy tale princess. I'm thinking of Enchanted. Or just the stereotypical fairy tale princess where you can call upon all the birds and the squirrels in the forest.
Who's to say our life isn't a fairy tale? Anything is possible with the power of optimism.
Oh yes. Truly, our life is far from a fairy tale. We must deal with prejudices and injustice, and our problems are not easily solved with magic. That's the same with fairy tales, Lucette. You really have
Yeah, Mike, what fairy tales have you been reading? Prejudices and injustice are the obstacles to overcome. It's what gives the fairy tales intrigue.
Exactly! Then again, she was forbidden to read them for like over 10 years. So there's that.
Fair enough.
But that makes a happy ending all the more worth fighting for.
That's why I won't give up. For you, I will do anything, my sweet queen.
Oh my gosh! One step at a time, right? One day at a time, we got closer to a future where I could sit on a throne with Chevalier by my side. Father and Ophelia did it. So can we. I leaned forward to kiss Chevalier on the lips. Once, gently, a small kiss.
I said,
Yes, Chef?
I love you. More than anything in this world.
I love you too. We shared another kiss beneath the shadows of the trees. In this place, there was no one else. There's just us and our dreams for the future. Ooh, I did that perfectly right there. That music cue was perfect. And with that, I'm assuming we just got the good ending for Chevalier. Rest assured, at some point we are going to do the best endings for each of these characters. So, let me see if there's their gallery. Let's talk about the endings. So, it was... Yes, so super surprise. So, we pretty much now, the only thing we have left is Rod's good end, and then we have all the rest with the best endings, which we may turn off the RCI for, to kind of get the full achievement thing. So, yeah, this was a really, really fun one. I really enjoyed this.
That's so cute.
They are so cute. Just that's adorable. So, yeah, I'm hoping to go a little bit more all out with Rod's ending, because that is the very last one we gotta do, at least for this part. But yeah, I mean, in terms of how I'm gonna do it, I think I'm just gonna we're just gonna read it through from like start to finish as like per normal, but like we're gonna have way more going on at the end, so that's gonna be pretty fun. So anyway, in terms of stuff coming up, we've got Barony on Monday, assuming that things are still going according to plan.
Yeah, that is the plan.
Yeah, I have a good feeling about this one. Knock on wood, though.
Yeah, we actually made it to like the last 5 levels. It's been a while since we actually got there.
Because we kept like dying around like the sand section. So the fact we've gotten this far.
Yeah, I think it's the Minotaur maze. I think
it's always the Minotaur maze. I think the fact that I made it to the end for the very first time ever. I've never made it to the end of that maze in my life. So the fact we actually made it is pretty amazing. So, yeah. And also, I apologize for Parasite Eve 2 not happening this week. I was super exhausted. I started a new job. So, it basically tapped out my reserves. Like, I was supposed to go Wednesday, and then I ran out of, and then I was supposed to make it up on Thursday. I got tapped out then too. So we're gonna go back to our usual Wednesday again. I think now that I've gotten used to it, I think I should be able to get back as per usual. Just to note that because of the way my schedule's working nowadays, it may be a little, like a touch later than usual, but for the most part, I will still go. And then next upcoming Saturday, next week, we will start up with Rod's route. We may have a few extra people on, so who knows. In terms of my Fiverr shop, this may be actually the last month I'll have like the gigs open, and then I'm gonna basically put a hiatus on it for the remainder of 2021. So we've got about 3 codes going on. We've got Blackout, which is going to be a supplemental archetype, Lamas, which is a free rune reading edition, and the proceeds will go towards the Red Lake Treaty Camp. And I decided to extend the birthday / noir code, which will basically give you a full-fledged reading with 1 card pricing, and it'll be good until next Saturday. So if you wanna get some reading with me, if you vibe with this and you want to get a reading from me, feel free to check it out. And finally, I have confirmed with a few people in Minnesota, I am going to go to the Red Lake Treaty Camp in September firsthand. So I'm going to really do some training about this. This is my first time doing like frontline activism work other than like the few walks I've done personally. But yeah, this is a big deal. So support the Red Lake Treaty Camp and make sure Line 3 does not get completed. Like, already it's having some environmental impacts on Anishinaabe lands and a lot of Minnesota, at least the northern portion as a whole. So please make sure that our environment, especially our drinking water, is not affected by making sure you make calls or anything to stop Line 3. And in terms of social media, feel free to check out the rest of them. TikTok is where I update the most frequently, followed by Twitch and YouTube. Once again, I mentioned earlier, I finally have a functional SD card, so keep an eye out for my first video on my second YouTube channel, Theological Otaku. And any notifications you want to see, check out my Twitter at DJMK4Life or my Discord. And feel free to read my blog or check out my Fiverr just for kicks or some fun. So, anyway, thank you so much for watching this fun episode of Cinderella Phenomenon Evermore. Stay safe out there. Drink plenty of water, especially in this heat. Remember that love is out there and within. And, of course, may your heart be your guiding key. Till next time, I will see you later. Bye!
Bye.